Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Advance Wars 1. The people have spoken, and it looks like I am using Sammy on all 4 Green Earth missions. Green Earth's a pretty interesting country. What's kind of weird is, in Advance Wars 1 and 2, like, you kind of go through the countries in the order of Orange Star, Blue Moon, Yellow Comet, and then Green Earth, or at least Green Earth comes last, which is weird, because in the multiplayer turn order, Green Earth comes before Yellow Comet, which is kind of strange. I guess they thought the Green Earth COs were tougher to deal with than the Yellow Comet COs. Or I guess they just wanted to make the most powerful COs have the hardest missions. I don't know. But at any rate, interesting fact about the 4 Green Earth missions. They all have different maps for every CO. Normally when you pick a CO, the mission is the same for every CO, usually. But in this case, it's going to be 3 different maps for 3 different COs. And I don't know why they do that only for the Green Earth levels. I guess they want to be able to design the maps with the actual CO in mind. So anyways, the way this works is that if you play Andy on all 4 missions, you unlock something interesting. If you play as Sammy for all 4 missions, you unlock something really, really interesting, which is what the people have told me to do. You get Jack's Squad if you use the best CO on all 4 maps, unfortunately. And if you use different COs on all of the maps, then you also get absolutely nothing. Weird way to do it, in my opinion. But, this first map, it is a capture battle. I think it's a capture battle on all 3 versions as well. So, since we're playing as Sammy, this is really good. We can just capture everything. We need 10 properties past what we start with to clear the mission. And all of those neutral properties on the right side there, they're not going to be enough. We actually need to push into Drake's territory a little bit, which is nice. So, we are dealing with a Navy CO named Drake. And Drake being the Navy CO, you know, I've said this before about Navy and Advance Wars, but it's just not as... I guess Navy units just aren't as viable as the Air Force. And the reason for that is they're obviously locked to the sea, for one thing, and only one of the units, well, 2 of the units, interact with the land portion, that being the lander, because obviously it transports units, and the other is the battleship, because it fires at enemy units on land. And the cruiser can also attack air forces, but if your map is, like, if your map is Navy only, with no air force, then that part of the cruiser is just pointless. In fact, the cruiser interacts so much with air units, if you think about it, because they can load transport copters, or they can load any helicopter, actually. So it's weird that they interact so much with air units, yet they're a sea unit. And of course, there are other properties about Drake that we will discuss when they come up, namely when his power bar fills. But in the meantime, I've actually played through this once before already. I just played it in order to remind myself of how it works. Here comes some rain, by the way. Yes, I am feeling confident. Well, actually, she doesn't really say anything at all if you say yes, so let's see what happens if you say no. Yes, Sammy, I figured that out pretty easy. Yeah, I guess that was just a little bit of advice for the mission. Anyways, we're facing rain now. Drake is said to make it more likely that it'll rain, but in the campaign mode, the rain is actually scripted. What it's actually talking about when it says that is if you play a multiplayer match and set the weather to random, then if Drake is present, then the chance of rain increases, just for random weather maps. Oh, gotta watch these guys. They might run into my subs. I forget what rain does exactly in Advance Wars 1. I can already tell that it reduces your vision range in Fog of War. In Advance Wars DS, rain will cause Fog of War specifically, but in Advance Wars 1, that is not the case, and I've already gotten one of my subs damaged, which is not good at all. But anyways, time to choke this point, and hey, there's a tank ready for us to fire at it. So we can start working on the properties here. And I'm actually pretty thankful for Sammy's boost to transporter movement, because that makes moving around the mechs a lot easier. I can get them on these mountains where they have a very distinct advantage. Alright, let's blast away this cruiser before it can do any more damage. Kind of unfortunate to lose one of the subs. I really need that sub in order to blow up the battleships. That'll make this a little bit easier. Another cool thing is that by the time you capture those bases, you've already amassed so much money. Oh, that's not good. Well, as I was about to say, I have enough money to get another medium tank, so, yeah, I can totally... Okay, you know what? Actually, I am starting to think that the rain is random here. It's really strange. Yeah, I'm gonna get another infantry because I want to capture as quickly as I can. Right, so I'm gonna test and see if rain doubles your fuel costs like I once thought it did. Yeah, I can't quite tell, but I don't think it does. Right, get the mech into the woods there. And unfortunately, the battleship took some heavy damage there as well. There's no longer a cruiser to deal with, though, so that's a good thing. Okay, we've got our CO power ready, which probably means he has his. Alright, so Drake's CO power causes 1 damage to all enemy units, which is not good, because my battleship has already taken some heavy damage here. And that would be really annoying for most other COs, because, as you can imagine, if you were in the middle of capturing something, now you've got to wait 1 extra turn, and that's really annoying. Not a problem for Sammy, however, because of that increased capturing speed. So I am still going to be able to capture everything on time. And on the next turn, I can take that property and this property, so now we will start sending out some medium tanks. Also, Drake's CO power, in Advanced Wars 1, it does nothing to your fuel, but in Advanced Wars 2 onwards, it will cause you to lose half your fuel, which can be very irritating. And I have absolutely no idea where the battleship could be. There it is. That's fine. So your APC is going to be important in this map, so I hope you don't lose it. I hope you don't lose your landers either, because those could be important even after you've already gotten everybody onto this portion of land here. I have no idea what's out there, so I'm going to have to fire. That'll delay his capturing a little bit, so that's good. Alright, I want to work through this quickly because I don't want to take forever. Like, on my first attempt, this took 15 minutes to clear, and that was not really a good showing, I'd say. Oh yeah, another point of interest is that when you join units, they actually combine their fuel and ammo. So if you are low on fuel and ammo, and you want to save units from drowning or whatever, then joining them is what you would do. Alrighty. There's where his indirects are. So we should build our own little series of indirects, and I only need 1 lander, so I'm actually going to join them and get some of the money back. Not that I spent any. Okay, just keep chipping away at that infantry. And as soon as these artilleries are out of the way, using double time to give yourself the speed boost you need to get to those cities is probably a good move. In fact, I could double time right now. Well, I can't really see anything out there, so I don't know if I want to do that quite yet. I can shoot at it with a rocket from here anyways, I suppose. Nothing's there. So, what's there? Oh, just an APC. Okay. And that anti-air is there. Kind of unfortunate. I wish I would have been able to fire at it with the rocket. Or the mech, rather. Right. We just need to push into his area and capture 2 of his properties, and then we win. Yeah, this should be funny. The cruiser should slam headfirst into the 1 HP sub. That'll be amusing. I am doing better than last time. I lost a couple units, but I have lost 1 unit now, so there's that. Oh, it just went around. Okay. Actually, I think Drake has +1 Navy movement. So that's a little bit annoying. Okay. So we can clear our path here. And oops, that was a mistake. Oh boy. See, that's why this clump of woods here is actually really annoying. But we are very close to winning. We just need, well, we actually only needed 1 property, not 2. Alright, so we just have to push through. The artillery's going to stay there and it fired at the mech, which I did not want. I actually wanted it to fire at an infantry or something. Not an infantry, a medium tank. Alright. But anyways, we can actually push past his units here. And on the next turn, I'm actually going to take advantage of something very interesting that I think only applies to Advance Wars 1. So, watch out for that. I don't really need to fire at anything with that battleship anymore. I've got to move this along. Here comes another tsunami. Oh, yeah, he must have had his battleship or something there. Oopsie. So an interesting thing that I discovered about the AI here is that the AI would normally prioritize attacking the unit that's capturing its HQ if one such unit exists. But in a mission like this, the goal is to capture cities, and the AI doesn't put all of its chips on whatever is capturing something. Not all the time. If it finds an APC, it will actually go for that first. And the reason I double-timed here is because in Advance Wars 1, double time lets you move across mountains at a movement cost of 1. So we can just dash straight over to that city, and it's really good. And as long as there are no surprises out here... Oh, I see you. I can fire at that. As long as there are no surprises, we actually should have this in the bag, because the AI is going to be glued towards that APC. And even then, it actually has to reduce the infantry down to, like, 3 or less HP in order to stop it from capturing on the next turn. So I did lose the APC, and I am technically abusing a glitch, but as soon as I capture, we win! A job well done. Actually, I don't think Sammy is in this cutscene at all. It's the same cutscene for all 3 versions of the map. Yeah, it's just Andy. No, he was not close at all. He was actually not close to victory. Oh well. that tsunami should be against the rules. Oh, same rank as before. Okay. So if tsunami should be against the rules, what about lightning strike? Of course, we're not going to be doing that quite yet. Eagle's in only 1 of these maps. Because he's had 2 maps to himself already. Alright, this is my 3rd take of this mission. It turns out that this mission is a little bit tougher than I remembered. You can't get through it just by blowing up everything in your path this time. Because this is when Drake's talents really start coming into play. And it's also where you have to be very, very careful as you move, because Fog of War is really bearing its fangs at me this time. So, we gotta use Sammy again. Of course, all of this applies to the Sammy version of the map. I haven't played the other 2 in a while. I think the Andy version might be the really stupid one, where you just have to defend a missile, which means load it on a lander and then set it on a reef. There was a really stupid mission like that somewhere in here. At least one of these missions is a freebie, but it's definitely not this one for Sammy. But I have to use her, right? I have to play all of the really hard missions to unlock the really, really hard missions. Alright, so they make a big deal out of protecting the landers because if you lose the landers in this mission, you have no way of transporting your units across the ocean here. So what we are going to do is, the game tempts you into just dropping infantry on the beach near the enemy HQ. You're going to get a bunch of indirect fire loaded into you if you try that. So we actually want to get onto that beach that's visible right now and kind of move all of our units up from there. No, I haven't really noticed that Sammy acts differently around her commanding officer, Andy. Really. I think this is more of Andy being dumb. Like, I don't know... Yeah, you've got to stop thinking. Andy, when have you ever been thinking? I've got to stop thinking. Well, what? First thing you have to do in that case is you have to actually start thinking. Alright. So, I'm going to... I think there's only a cruiser over here, but I actually want the battleship over here anyways. Because the battleship is going to support my land units. I really need the supporting fire for the land force. So I don't need the cruiser over there. The cruiser is for dealing with subs and shooting out steam when it tries to pop up in my video. Thanks a bunch, Steam. Alright, so I want the rocket over here. What I'm going to do is take this lander up and to the left, drop it on that, on these fours here, and then have it go over to the HQ. Meanwhile, the rest of the land forces are going to go up this area. Assuming they live. Because I like to try and use the rocket to take out the enemy battleship. The one that actually moves. There's a battleship hidden on a reef on the right. And, uh-oh, if the enemy has a cruiser there, my sub is gone now. Well, that did kind of bluff the battleship off of moving anywhere forwards. Which is actually a good thing, because I can get this rocket into position on the force, and if the battleship decides to move into range, well, it's just going to get blasted by the rocket now, isn't it? That's actually pretty cool. Alright, drop and drop. You can, in fact, load a mech into an APC and then load that APC into a lander. It's loadception. We'll get those units ready to get going on day 3. The enemy's got a medium tank in there somewhere. Ah, yes, it's in the perfect spot for being fired upon. And, I'm not gonna kill it, though, so I will just destroy the cruiser like this instead. I could put a unit to distract the battleship, like keep it still so that it gets fired at again. Right. Here we want to... I'm going to inch forward. I'm going to sneak through this force and try to get to the HQ that way. But the problem with that is there are enemy indirects that you want to deal with as well, so we've also got to watch for that. I'm going to go back for more units here. And I don't know what these guys are going to do. I can't drop them on that beach. Alright, so Drake's got his CO power. And seeing as Nell has told me this, like, more times than I probably deserve, it is in fact possible to prevent units from taking damage from the CO power by loading them onto something. If they're loaded onto something, they won't take any damage whatsoever from mass damage powers, which is very good to know. Alright, so that's one battleship out of the way. I'm going to keep a cruiser here. I think cruisers have decent vision range, yes. Nice of the tank, though, to move up against my battleship so that I can't fire at it. Jeez. Alright. That transport movement bonus is coming in handy here. Yep, the enemy's got a medium tank, and it's gonna fire at my medium tank. Like, guaranteed. Alright, with the enemy battleship out of the way, I can move the rocket into my lander and start transporting that too. Probably could have done that from the start, but it was helpful to get rid of the moving battleship. The other one just sits still. Oh, you moved away the unit that was revealing my medium tank, so now you can't fire at it. Thanks, AI. And you don't blow up quite yet, but you got pretty close. That was a little bit risky. There could have been something there, but no matter. So now, I know there's a rocket in there, so I want to get rid of it, first and foremost. I suppose the recon will come in handy here. Right. Not a lot of units you have in this mission. They don't give you a lot of units at all. Right. That isn't cool. I lost a decent chunk of my firepower from that. I wish I could get into a forest now, but I guess that's not happening. I could retreat my medium tank unless I want to. Oops. Well, the enemy medium tank is gone, and let's see. Just a little bit more until I have my rocket ready to be loaded. Oh, I know where the rocket is. I know exactly where it is now, so I could properly deal with it now if I needed to. Just gotta move very carefully. So the rocket is most definitely right here. So now that I know where it is, that's gonna be helpful. I can't fire at it. Unfortunately, the battleship is too far away from that position. I guess that was not a good position for it. It should really have been around here. But no matter. Now that I can see the thing, I can at least do damage to it so that it's no longer a huge threat. Alright, I'm going to use my CO power. This will give the mech more attack power against the rocket, and hopefully do a bunch of damage. That's not a bunch of damage, but that is a pretty good amount of damage. I don't know where the artillery went, but without both the rocket and the artillery, I would say that Drake cannot stop that mech from capturing now. He can use Tsunami, but that's not enough damage, as we saw in the previous map. Dang it. Okay, so there were two artilleries. I should have used the APC as a distraction. There's one of them, and there's the other. Just cute. So this is going to take a little bit longer. Hopefully this makes them retreat. They aren't retreating. I can't spend forever just firing away at them like this. Alright. This should be okay. I think this is alright. Because with all of his units weakened, he should not be able to do enough damage to the infantry now. Alright. Disaster averted. I thought for sure that would be a complete disaster and I would have to start the mission over again. But as long as it's... Very appropriate quote there. Oh, look, another S rank. This game is so lenient with technique. Like, I've been doing War Room for so long that I get worried every time I lose a unit. Alright, we're halfway there. Now we just need to hope that the next map isn't crazy. And I happen to know that the next map has Eagle in it. So, are you ready for Advance Wars to get difficult? I mean, really, really difficult? Yeah, this is why I was dreading having to play Sammy on all of these maps. Because for some reason, all of Sammy's missions in Green Earth, they just... Well, this one in particular, it piles on disadvantage after disadvantage for you. Okay, so let me start with the first thing that really annoys me. It's Fog of War, but it's also exactly the same as Andy's version of the map, except there's Fog of War. So that's laziness for one thing. Fog of War is basically default laziness. Now, you're up against Eagle, and that means Eagle's air units, they have extra defense. This is not good because Sammy's fighters are weaker because she has a disadvantage in direct combat, which means fighter versus fighter is actually disadvantageous to you because, like in a fighter versus fighter matchup with Eagle against Sammy, even if Sammy strikes first, that only brings him down to 6 HP, and then he can just bring you down even further. Like, he beats you before he beats him. You can't 1v1 fighters with Sammy's fighters. It's just... Yeah, I'm kind of rambling, but I don't know what to say. This map is just the first really crazy match. It's like a taste of hard mode or something. So what we are going to do is, we basically have... I don't want to move my APC too far forwards because there are bombers hiding in the darkness. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Like, do you need any more, Eagle? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a wall. And our air units are going to hide behind that wall. And hopefully... like, what I'm hoping is going to happen here is... like, maybe the air units will run forward, strike something, and then they will just be vulnerable to the missiles. Like, even the missiles can't kill an air unit in one hit like they normally would because of Eagle's defensive boost. It's no wonder that defense became rarer and rarer as the series went on. Unless you're Kanbei. Because, come on. It's practically unfair. Right, so I think I'm going to use another turn setting up my defenses. This is a situation where you just have to set up a defensive formation and hope that the enemy just runs smack dab right into it. So I will move like this. And the fighter can't really reach any air units from here. So that's fine. And this is probably good. Alright, let's see what he does. Well, I lost... That was probably a really bad position for the anti-air unit, but that's fine. That was a disadvantaged unit anyways. Okay. And of course, on top of all of this, you've also got to worry about Eagle's CO power at the end. So I don't really know what to get rid of first. My heart says to... well, the fighters can deal with the bombers, so let's do that. Oh, actually, we can use my favorite trick. See how the fighter is surrounded by units? Well, if you position your units like so, now it can't fire at anything because it can't get away from all of the ground units. Help, I'm an air unit and I'm trapped by infantry. Whatever shall I do? So setting a trap like that is probably your best bet with if you're trying to play Sammy here. And Lightning Strike isn't even going to be that good because luckily I was able to take out all of the air units. So that was a very good opening turn. What do you mean, what choice do you have? This battle isn't even your... this battle is your choice in general, dude. Right, so the initial threats are out of the way. And I would so love to run over all of his units because they have weakened defenses now, but I probably don't want to... oh, look, there's a bomber there. I guess I'm taking it out. I don't think he has any more fighters. So I'm not worried about my air units, as long as we can... yeah, actually, I think we just need to go all in here. He's used his... oh yeah, I got trapped. Yeah, I talk about trapping fighters that one time. Now I'm the one who's trapped. Well, I got the anti-air out of the way, so it's not like the bomber is going to do a whole lot. But I do need to get my fighters all the way into this corner because there's a bomber there. I do not want to... like, if you want to do a sneak HQ capture on this map, then you have to get rid of the bomber in the corner. Right. But so far, this is actually going very well for me. Does he have any more fighters? He probably doesn't. He's got an anti-air. Those units had better get out of the way or I can't get my fighter out. So fighter all the way to the left. And boom, there's your bomber. I had to look this up because like this map is just nuts. Like, try this for yourself without a guide. I think you will see that it is in fact a very crazy mission. But I think we're in the clear now, actually. Like, if you know where all the units are going to pop up and you play it really, really carefully, then you should be actually good to go. Right, now comes the fun part. That out of the way, I'm totally losing this T-copter because I know there's a missile there. Oh, hello, medium tank. I was looking for the anti-air. Alright, move back, blow this thing up. He's got lightning strike again, which means I'm going to lose even more. Yeah, I'm losing that bomber now, too. This is going to be so horrible. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an A rank. I've been getting so many S ranks up until now, though. Be pretty sad. Time for my CO power. Yeah, at this point, I'm definitely thinking that I should probably split the Green Earth video into 2 parts. Oh, ooh, that was careful. If I'd gotten ambushed, I would have just lost my mind. Alright, so I know that there's 1 bomber ready to strike at this mech, but since it's just 1 bomber instead of 2, because I got rid of the other one, I think I'm totally safe. So let's hope it's enough. Oh, I freed the fighter. Forgot about that. So there's no other units that can fight back? Okay, that's good. In that case, we're completely safe. Let's just capture. If I had selected wait by accident, I would have hurt something. So yeah, they think Andy attacked. Look who you're accusing. Andy is dumb. He's not smart enough to pull off anything that complicated. Oh, okay. You know, I actually don't need to throw insults at Andy because Sammy's doing it for me. Thanks, Eagle. This is beautiful. This is so worth it. What? I haven't read that in so long. Yeah, he is pretty stubborn. A rank? Yes, A rank. I deserve that. But that dialogue, man, that is classic Advance Wars. I completely forgot. Man. Alright, only one more map to go for Green Earth. And then it's the finale. These missions are making me lose my mind. This mission is a total freebie, and I have already lost 2 times. I can't believe this. And you know what the worst part is? This is a complete filler mission. Like, Sonya's here, she seems to have figured out everything that's going on, she knows who really attacked Green Earth. Why are we still fighting then? I guess because they needed to make another Drake mission so that he would have as many missions as Eagle does. Like, yeah, I know what I'm supposed to do here, but I keep making mistakes, and it is frustrating me like crazy. So, it's like Sammy again. By the way, the freebie I was talking about with Andy, where you have to defend the missile, that was an earlier mission. It's not this one. For Sammy, it's defending a single infantry unit, and it should be easy peasy to, like, have it escape the level, because that's just what you're supposed to do. You have to defend it for 8 turns, and as long as it gets away from the immediate danger, then everything is okay, and it should be safe. Why an infantry unit? It's supposed to be a recon unit, so it should be a recon. But then it would drive away too quickly, is that right? Nope, no questions. That was basically the same as the, what happens if you say yes. She just gets more angry. So, the first thing you have to do is you've got 2 B-copters here. You've got to take out this missile. You don't need to take it out, but you do need to reduce its HP. Let's put that out of the way. I am basically using these B-copters as distractions. They are going to, like, keep the enemy at bay while this infantry escapes on a transport copter. And I better put 2 transport copters there just to be safe. Because the last time I tried this, there was a surprise cruiser down here that decided to shoot out a transport copter, and that made me look like a complete monkey. That's for certain. Alright, so that's turn 1. As long as the infantry gets away, then nothing else matters. Yeah, I would say cruisers aren't supposed to prevent escape by transport copter because transport copters fly, but then the cruiser shot down mine, and I'd completely forgotten that Drake has +1 movement for his Navy units. Right, so we lost a couple of units, but that's fine. We have successfully given ourselves enough time to get in the transport copter and then get onto our cruiser. Hey, we're using that ability again to load the transport copter into the cruiser. As long as I get mileage out of that ability, I'm happy. Because then this cruiser can just run away and, you know, there's no units over here to destroy it. They're completely safe. These 2 mechs aren't exactly safe, but we'll keep them alive for as long as possible. And there's also a battleship here that I should probably be worried about. Nah, it's probably okay. Still gotta destroy units because we need that power score, of course. Like, heaven forbid I get a D, and I completely forgot to... Well, there's probably no way to save that B-copter anyways. Well, we've already seen so far that you can lose quite a number of units and still get decent technique. So, oh my goodness, stop doing that! Like, he just goes all out in this mission. Alright. Let's have the cruisers deal with this thing. And, blow that thing up. Hide. Yeah, there we go. And then all of our other units can just hide, and then we wait out the timer. Because this is a survival mission, not a, capture or route mission. It's not a normal mission. But you can see that I've basically trivialized it. And I don't think he has any more subs past that. So we're safe on that count, too. Oh, he can see the battleship from there. Uh-oh. Alright, everything is safe. Nothing to worry about. The battleship might get a little bit frisky, but... Oh, it can fire at the mech. I'm gonna lose another unit. No, I can't fire quite yet. I can keep the mech in, I can keep the units... I can keep all of my units directly next to it. In fact... Hey, you're trapped now. And you can't shoot at anything. Isn't that terrible? But hey, time's up already. Alright, so that's all of the Green Earth missions. We've done everything we can. Let's hope for a good score. What's the reason? He didn't say anything. Alright, that's still an S rank. I've gotten myself a nice big headache. But the Green Earth missions are over, and we can finally move on to the finale of Advance Wars 1. And thanks to using Sammy in all of the Green Earth missions is going to be a very interesting finale. So, I will see you for that. I'm Efring225, and next time we take on the final missions. See you then!